All right, here goes chapters 24 and 25, summary and discussion of To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, chapter 24, I like reading this chapter simply because there's so much we can relate to it. But this is where Aunt Alexandra invites her missionary circle to come to the house for tea, and Scout helps Calpurnia bring in the tea, and Aunt Alexandra invites Scout to stay with the ladies. And so a missionary circle is going to be like a mission group that she has over to do like missionary fundraisers, and so they're discussing important matters at this tea, and then guess what? It slowly reverts to gossiping. Are we surprised? No. And so Mrs. Grace Merriweather in this chapter reminds me of Miss Healy from The Help, because she keeps talking about the Marooners and the third world country and how we need to be helping them. And then she gets into talking about her maid and how she just had a sulky face all the time. And she said, now I tried to help her out, but she just kept walking around with a sulky face because of that Tom Robinson trial. Well, she's a hypocrite. Grace Merriweather is an example of a hypocrite. And so during this time, we see that how these women are gathering to help these people in the third world country because they've been ostracized, yet in their own hometown, the black people have been ostracized and they're not helping them. And also, let's talk about Mayella Ewell for a second, because the women here are trying to help other women in third world countries because they got it so bad. But the girl down the street, Mayella, she got it just as bad, and ain't nobody knocking on her door trying to help her. Okay, I just got on my soapbox in my rant. Anyway, so then after this missionary circle happens, Atticus appears and calls Alexandra to the kitchen, and there he tells Scout and Calpurnia and Miss Maudie that Tom Robinson attempted to escape and he was shot. How many times? 17 times. He takes Calpurnia with him to tell the Robinson family of Tom's death. And so here, this is such a controversial chapter, and I love having class discussions on this chapter because I get so much student feedback. And so I'm going to need y'all to comment, tell me what you think, because we have this ongoing battle in our society talking about police brutality. And so I'm going to have to realize my biases because my father is a police officer. But here, this is an example of police brutality because he is shot 17 times. I mean, how many times does it take, or how many bullets does it take to kill one person? Not 17. And so this is what's so frustrating. And a lot of people have said, oh, we've come such a long way in our society and our culture. Well, I mean, yeah, we've taken a few baby steps, but hello, like this is still going on in our culture now. And so this is where we, the reader, have to take a step back and go like, whoa, Harper Lee, like this was written in 1960 and it's 2020 and I'm quarantined right now and my teacher's making me read this book and holy moly, it is still relevant. And so at the end of this chapter, we just get this uneasy feeling because this chapter 24 is loaded with hypocrisy and it's loaded with basically being inhumane. Like, it is inhumane to shoot somebody 17 times. That means it's personal. If you've ever watched First 48, Dateline, 2020, when somebody gets shot that many times, it's personal. All right, moving on to chapter 25. So Jim and Scout are on the porch when Scout notices a roly-poly bug. She's about to kill it with her hand when Jim tells her not to. She dutifully places the bug outside, and then Jim says she should not hurt something that hasn't done anything to harm her. Whoa, that's just like the Mockingbird. Okay, I want you to be thinking about who the Mockingbird is in this novel. So Jim convinces Atticus to let them accompany him to Helen Robinson's house, where they see her collapse even before Atticus could say that her husband Tom was dead. So it's like Atticus rolls up to Helen's house to tell her about her husband Tom and how he has been murdered. I'm going to say murdered because 17 times, that's murder. And so she passes out before Atticus can even get to the door because she knows what has happened. So Tom is portrayed in the media as an irrational black man for trying to escape. They basically say that he tried to run and he was dangerous. And that the media is justifying the fact that this man was shot 17 times. That's sickening. That's what our media does, though. You can only take it at face value. You have to listen to the news, you have to listen to the media, and then you have to create your own understanding of it. And then at the end of this chapter, Mr. Underwood writes a long editorial condemning Tom's death as the murder of an innocent man. So go you, Mr. Underwood. I like you, Mr. Underwood. Thank you for bringing that to the forefront. An innocent man was killed. Let me know if you have questions on chapters 24 and 25, and tell me what you think about these chapters because they're really important.